Hi guys, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit far away. I can't see the camera too well because I'm blind. Today I am going to be packing some plants and shipping them for a plant swap. Also sorry if I seem a little bit low energy. That's because I'm tired. It's the morning and I want to get this done in the morning so I can get it off to the post office so that hopefully it's processed by the end of the day, shipped out tomorrow and delivered latest on Wednesday. Fingers crossed. This isn't a tutorial per se of how to package plants. It's more of me showing you how I'm doing it, and also keep in mind that this, changes with every, shipment depending on, what plant, how many plants, what materials I have on hand, but hopefully some of it is useful to you. So I'm going to be shipping two things, one of which is this beautiful Syngonium 3 Kings. I love this plant. And this is actually a cutting. It is fully rooted. And my other one, I should have brought it and shown it. When I cut it, I was a bit worried because it looked a little bit shit because it had like 4 leaves. But it's putting out a lot of new growth, so I'm so happy that I actually cut it. So besides the Syngonium 3 Kings, I'm going to be also sending 2 cuttings of Philodendron micans, which I have rooted in water and kind of forgot about. And I should have potted this up a long time ago, but now it's too late and it has all these roots. So I'm going to be shipping these in sphagnum moss, and this one will stay in the pot. So I have prepared a couple of things. So I have some sphagnum moss, which is sitting in water and soaking up water. The one I have, I don't like it at all because it's like super crumbly. It's very like small little pieces, which is annoying as like the most annoying sphagnum moss I've ever had, but I don't have any other sphagnum moss at the moment, so that's what I'm sending it in. It should be okay. The only thing, it just like gets everywhere because it's such like tiny piece, it's hard to get off your hands. Then I have this box here. I actually thought I had a better box, a better choice of boxes, because I am a hoarder of shipping supplies and like packages and packaging materials that I get, but I think I very recently threw out a bunch of boxes and I didn't realize, so I found this one. I think it's okay. It's not the best, but it's gonna do. I also have a whole bunch of this paper. I folded it, but it's a lot in here. It came with like something I ordered off Amazon or something like that, and it was packaged with a ridiculous amount of paper that it did not need, but so I saved it for purposes like these. I also have some scissors, some tape. I also have this foam type material. It's also packaging material that I've saved from, whatever packaging, and I'm also going to be using this. Oh, and last but not least, I have 4 skewers. These you can find anywhere. You can find these online. I found these in my local supermarket. You can get bigger ones, smaller ones. Skewers are really easy to find and they're very useful, and of course I'll show you how I use them. First, I'm going to be packing the biggest plant, which is the 3 Kings. The reason why I don't like this box is because it is like this, and this plant will only fit in this way. This box is painted, like part of it is painted black because I was using it for other things, but I realized I didn't have an appropriate box, so I had to sacrifice it for this shipment. First thing I'm gonna do is cut up this packing material and put it inside the box and basically line the box with it. Okay, so this is perfect for now. It's going to afterwards, close up, and I'll probably cut it a little bit, but I'm gonna do that later. I'm going to wrap this first. So what I'm going to do is take some of this paper and I'm going to wet it and then put it on top of the soil. So I'm just gonna dip it into the little bowl where I have the sphagnum moss, which in hindsight is not the best idea because now it's going to be covered in sphagnum moss, but it's okay. And just gonna pack it on top of the soil. Now this should keep a lot of the soil inside the pot and it doesn't go anywhere, but this is not the only countermeasure for like the soil going everywhere. I'm also going to wrap it with, I have a bit of, what is this called? It's like the plastic you wrap stuff in. Is it like cellophane, or like it's slipping my mind what it is. I'll put the name somewhere unless I got it right. I'm gonna take some strips and I'm going to put it across one side and then I'm going to put it across the other side. I'm going to wrap it down, and then I'm going to tape it around. There, and now the plant is completely safe in there. Even if it's upside down, the soil is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to be disturbed from the pot. You don't have to put the shrink wrap. Is it called shrink wrap? I'm going to call it shrink wrap. You don't have to put the shrink wrap or any type of plastic on there. Usually the paper will do just fine. Next up, I'm going to poke these skewers into the sides of the pot, and I'm just going to do it through the cellophane, or did I say shrink wrap? I'll call it shrink. I'm all over the place. And I'm going to basically make a little wall around it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pieces of tissue paper, I'm going to break it into smaller pieces and sort of fill out the areas within this little enclosure. I know that some people and some shipping companies who sell plants online will use stuffing, for example, which is really great. I know I have some stuffing somewhere, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. So this will have to do. Okay, so now I'm going to build it up more, but before I do that, I'm going to wrap it in this packing material. I want to say styrofoam. This is not styrofoam, but in this. You can, instead of this, use, for example, just newspapers or like paper or something like that. I'm just going to use this because I have it and it's just more sturdy. It's going to keep it safer, and even though the weather is okay for shipping, it's just going to keep it a little bit more insulated as well. So what I'm going to do is lie it on its side very carefully, of course, and kind of mark how much I'm going to need and cut that to size. So then I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around the plant, making sure that the leaves aren't like too squished or anything like that. We want them to arrive looking well. It can be a little bit of a process to you probably can't see anything I'm doing, but it can be a little bit of a process to figure out, you know, placing the leaves so that they're not like smushed or anything like that. Come on. This is a little bit fiddly because, you know, paper is easier to work with, but here I am. Some of my lipstick got on that, so I'm also sending a part of my DNA sample along with this plant, I guess. So there, it's in there now. I'm now going to cut off the top up until the skewers because that is how big my box is. And yes, I could put it in a bigger box. However, I do not have another appropriate sized box. I have another bigger one, but it's just too big for this, and then I would need to like really pack it with a lot of other stuff, and it just wouldn't be it. I'm gonna see if this fits well. Yes, that fits exactly into the box here. Very carefully going to put some more tissue paper into underneath the leaves just to support it a little bit better. It should be okay like this, but I'm paranoid. And that's this plant. So I'm going to place it in here and put it to the side for a minute while I package up the philodendron micans cuttings. Since I have a little bit of the shrink wrap left, I'm going to be packaging it in this. So what I'm going to do is just grab a bunch of sphagnum moss and squeeze out excess water so that it's damp but it's not like soaking wet. I'm gonna place it on the shrink wrap, and I'm going to grab the plant and place the roots on top of the sphagnum moss. Now these roots are quite long. I don't know if I showed you or not. I'm pretty sure I did, but they're really long, the roots, so they're gonna need quite a bit of sphagnum moss so that they're, you know, covered and happy. You could ship this bare root, but I choose not to do that. So now this is packaged like this, and this leaf will go against here. I'm going to wrap it in either tissue paper or just the normal paper that packing paper that I have, so that it stays safe and snug in there. God, this is what I'm talking about. Look at all my hands are covered in like tiny bits of sphagnum moss. I'm just gonna take a sphagnum moss like little bag close and put it to the side for a minute, and then I'm going to do the same for the other cutting. I'm basically sandwiching the roots between sphagnum moss. So I'm putting down a layer of sphagnum moss, then I'm putting the roots and the cutting on top, and then I'm adding additional sphagnum moss on top. You can of course just like wrap it in it, like that's just what I'm doing because these roots are kind of long. It's just easier for now, for me, for the situation. And then just wrapping it. So now I'm going to just grab some of this paper. I'm gonna just place it and wrap it around. It can be a little bit of, you know, figuring out the right placement for them, like how to place the leaves so that you know, everything stays in its place, nothing is like pressed down wrong so that you don't break anything. Not wrapping it too tight because the leaves are in there and it's just a little parcel like this. I'll put a tiny piece of tape on top so it doesn't unravel for now. Set it to the side, and I'll do the same for the other cutting. So now I have my box. I have a little bit of space in between where the syngonium is and, you know, the sides of the box. So what I'm gonna do is just place those carefully. I'm actually gonna place them both on one side. And then we are just going to packing material as snugly as we can within the box, so that nothing moves. Okay, I forgot that this has little flaps in, and because of the packing material it's a little bit complicated. So I'm just going to cut off like these parts that go inside, and I'm going to be taping it up anyway, so it's okay. And I don't remember which way is up. Let me just check again. Okay, this way is up. I'm gonna quickly get a pen and mark that this is up. I will put some, of course, some fragile labels, some handle with care things on it. Now, obviously, all that's left is to wrap it up and put a shipping label on it and take it to the post office. Okay, I made sure that every single place where it could possibly open is well taped up and nothing is coming apart in this box. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to print some labels and I'm going to stick those on. Oh my god, this took longer than I thought it would because my laptop suddenly refuses to just print color. It's not my printer because other laptops print color just fine, so I had to wait to print these stupid labels. So now I have the labels. Obviously I'm not going to show you the address on top, I will blur it out if it's on camera. And now I will rush off to the post office because it is much later than I thought it would be when I'm sending this. So that's it, that's the video. Oh, and I probably will do an unboxing when I receive the plants from the plant swap, so look out for that.